on News Hour tonight. Women march after suspected herdsmen kill 3 in new Yelwata attack. EFCC nabs ex-Sokoto governor Tambuwal over alleged 189 billion naira fraud. Ibom air passenger charged, detained for assaulting staff. And on the foreign scene, Gaza grieves 6 journalists killed in Israeli strike. Good evening and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Tension has once again gripped Yelwata community in Benue State after gunmen attacked in the early hours of Monday, killing 3 people, wounding several others and leaving an unconfirmed number missing. The latest attack prompted protesters to block the Makurdi-Lafia highway, chanting slogans and calling for the military to leave the community, accusing them of doing little to prevent repeated attacks. Trust TV's correspondent in Benue State has more.
The latest incident comes barely a month after the same community suffered a devastating assault, in which more than 200 lives were lost and over 50 people injured. The renewed violence sparked a protest by local women and other residents who blocked the Makurdi-Abuja highway, bringing traffic to a standstill. The angry demonstrators placed the bodies of the victims on the road, insisting no one would pass until soldiers stationed in the area were withdrawn to their barracks, accusing them of failing to protect the community.
This incident has been occurring since 14 years now. At the beginning of this crisis, they brought soldiers to us. So we were thinking the issue will go down. And then the issue has not been calmed since the beginning of this crisis, 14 years. So the recent one that happened, that our market was burned with people inside, we were thinking maybe the government has applied something that even if the herdsmen come in, they will see them and then they will interrupt. Today, they asked us to be looking upon the soldiers that we thought as security. Even today, that people went at the house, beside the houses, not as if it is in the farm. They were now killed this morning. That was why we were angry and then we protested.
You can see we have the military as our covering here, but the covering is negative. So that's why we are protesting they should leave, so that the trustworthy security should work with us, because they are no longer trustworthy.
President alleged that attackers usually cross over from neighboring Nasarawa state to carry out the assaults.
The people that comes from this state, the neighboring states, we have the neighboring houses here closely, the Nasarawa state government. We are suspecting them because the moment they come here, before we know, we'll see them going back. They are not coming here from our place because one, they don't have their settlements here. But they come easily to kill us, and where they are going back is either Kadrobo or Giza. So we are suspecting them as people who have been hiding our enemies. So we are looking on to it that the government should help us talk to the national government.
It was a painstaking exercise. Collaboration, synergizing with government officials and other security agencies to ensure that the road, the federal highway from Makurdi to Lafia, that has been blocked for over 8 hours. As you can see, it was women that were protesting. We cannot use force, to displace them. I want to thank the government officials. That we're here, other security agencies that we're here. We dialogue with them, we talk to them, we persuade them. At the end of the day, as you can see, the road was clear.
For many Yelwata, every gunshot revives memories of loved ones lost and hopes abandoned. As dusk settles over the farmlands, fears lingers, and residents say their greatest wish is to sleep through the night without the crack of gunfire. Security officials are vowing to end the violence and restore peace, but locals insist the repeated attacks have become a humanitarian crisis, demanding urgent and decisive government action.
In other news, former Sokoto State Governor Gov.Tambuwal is in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over alleged fraudulent cash withdrawals totaling 189 billion naira. The withdrawals are said to contravene the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. Tambuwal reportedly arrived at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja around 11:30 a.m. on Monday, where he is being interrogated by investigators. A senior EFCC source who spoke on condition of anonymity said the former governor is facing questions over suspicious transactions during his tenure involving alleged unauthorized withdrawals of public funds. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale declined to comment until the interrogation is concluded. Tambuwal, a senior figure in the People's Democratic Party (PDP), served as governor from 2015 to 2023 and was previously Speaker of the House of Representatives. A passenger who assaulted airline officials on an Ibom air flight inbound Lagos from Uyo Comfort Emanson has reportedly been charged to court. A special advisor to the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, on Media and Communications, Tunde Moshood, who revealed this, said Emanson has been remanded in the Kirikiri Correctional Facility. Moshood disclosed this in a post on X on Monday, shortly after the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) said enforcement action will soon become more frequent in Nigerian airports as unruly conduct by passengers becomes rampant. The development is coming on the heels of a similar incident involving popular Fuji musician King Wasiu Ayinde Marshall, aka Kwam1 or K1, and an airline value jet. The musician attempted to stop the aircraft from taking off after he was deboarded. The Airline Operators of Nigeria has imposed a no-fly live ban on a female passenger, Comfort Emanson, who allegedly assaulted airline officials on an Ibom air flight inbound Lagos from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. The AON, in a statement by its spokesperson Obiora Okonkwo on Monday, said the ban on Emanson from flying with an AON member either domestically or internationally for life takes immediate effect. It also said anyone who exhibits such behavior going forward will suffer a similar consequence. While condemning the action of the passenger, the group said it constituted one of the most severe cases of unruly passenger behavior witnessed in 2025. The AON commended the airline for its swift and professional handling of the incident, adding that it fully endorsed the actions taken against Emanson, who was a passenger on Ibom Air Flight Q9303. Meanwhile, a former Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has criticized the handling of the recent Ibom Air incident, describing it as a reflection of, quote, double standards in Nigeria's justice system. In a statement on Monday via his official X handle, Obi apologized to the Ibom Air crew allegedly assaulted by passenger Comfort Emanson, stressing the need for Nigerians to uphold good conduct as a true measure of success and decent living. However, he condemned what he termed the dehumanizing treatment of Emanson, who was stripped publicly before being hurriedly taken to court and remanded. He noted that while she is in custody, another individual who held a plane from taking off and put hundreds of lives at risk remains at large, with some government officials calling for him to be forgiven. He argued that the incident exemplified a broader pattern where the poor and less privileged are punished swiftly while politically connected offenders evade accountability. Now, away from that, visually impaired persons in Lagos on Monday staged a protest along the Lagos Airport Road, disrupting movement and demanding the reopening of the Farmcraft School for the Blind, which has been shut for over a year. They described the school as a lifeline for education, dignity and empowerment, warning that its prolonged closure has worsened their hardship and rising living costs and high unemployment. The report.
Speaking during the peaceful demonstration, Kelly Blind, a representative of the group, outlined the daily struggles of the visually impaired person, especially after the removal of fuel subsidy. The protesters also called for job opportunities, grants, and salary placement for educated persons with disabilities, noting that many of them are graduates but remain unemployed. They criticized the government for allocating hundreds of millions of naira to sport teams while neglecting the welfare of educational needs of the disabled community.
And also to address the welfare of persons with disability, PWDs. We are dying. The Renew Hope agenda, we were not captured. They said there's a poverty alleviation, Minister of Poverty alleviation. All of us that is here, I will tell you the truth, that none of us here are beneficiaries of that program. Yes. Who is poor compared to the blind people? We can't live in the urban area. We live in the rural area. We can't have a good food. We can't pay rent. We can't pay bills. When the subsidy was removed, it affected us big time. Because for a blind person to move, you need a guide. Even for somebody to move on his own, it's not easy. Not to talk of a blind person. So the blind person is paying double. So the subsidy matters is really telling on us. So we can't go anywhere. We can't move. So it's really a pain. We are going through pains. So that's why we decided today that we'll come here. This is the only place that we can come and let our voice heard.
They stress that removal of fuel subsidy has further deepened their struggle, especially the increase in transportation and living costs of persons with disability.
Okay, we need the schools to be reopened because rehabilitation is very, very important. A lot of us lost our sight in adulthood, and the only place that we can go, we as adults can go and get rehabilitated and also get reintegrated into the society, get something doing, get skills, learn how to use the computer, the mobile phones, learn skills that you can use for businesses. The school has been shut down, so there's no hope. Even these schools are quite affordable at the very least, but the other ones available that are open and running are NGOs.
That school is our home. It's a place we can't do without. Blind people are there. Those ones that they are just coming out. Like when I went to school, they are in the house over 1 year plus because the school is closed down. It's something we are begging. They should please answer us. The school should be open.
Need something. We are human beings. Things are getting worse every day. We barely feed a day. We barely feed. Things are getting worse. They should take care of us. They should place us monthly salary. They should take care of they should open that school for those that are ready to go to school. Then the women, they should give us empowerment for we to be able to take care of ourselves. It's not easy. As I'm married with 6 children, it's not easy for us. For us to eat a day is very, very hard. I don't know. Tinubu is a good man. He's a better president. He's talking about Renew Hope. That in Renew Hope, we should come and start it in us. Should come and renew us, and we should see we are Nigerians now. We are paying tax. Even when before our children go to school, they will ask us to pay tax. We will pay. Whatever others will do, we do it. They should take care of us.
Brother is here. At least my sister is here. What I want to say this is that we are human beings. When human beings can see, but this is getting hard for us. And these people, they cannot see. And this, if let us think about it, you cannot see, is still trying to hustle. The only thing that give them joy, that make them happy, is that school. Because the reason why that school is existing is like, let me just give you an example. One, they cannot see, but here they call it inner eye foundation. We get the school name. That what I call inner eye. Inner eye that even though you cannot see, you may understand what is going on because you are hearing, you can understand. If they say, okay, you can use water and liquid to get a soap, you already hear it. You can send somebody to get water, somebody to get soap. That school that gives them joy, that school that made them feel as human beings, that school that made them feel at home, the school is shut down. Only thing, we are begging the government, we are begging them.
Protesters vow to sustain their demonstrations until the farm craft school for the blind is reopened and the federal government takes concrete steps to improve the welfare of persons with disabilities nationwide.
Retirees under the aegis of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, representing various agencies including NITEL, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and Nigerian Railway Corporation, on Monday took to the streets protesting their unpaid entitlements. It was gathered that the entitlements are up to 35 months pension arrears and non-payments of the 35,000 naira palliative. The agreed retirees also called on the federal government to give a specific time for the payment of their entitlements, even as they decried the untold hardship they suffer daily.
Retired from Radio Nigeria, Lagos, way back 1995. I was not even up to 28 or 9 days when I was retired. But Babangida said, those of us who have served 10 years should be pensioned. That is how I become a pensioner. But becoming a pensioner now become a curse on me, because I have children to take care of. I have to pay their school fee.
This your health issues right now. Are there been any support, to support?
No problem. How much did they pay you as pension, man?
Now, I don't see clearly. All these surroundings are just like whitish something. Cloudy, I cannot see. I was supposed to go to the hospital. They have to go and take classes. And for working for it, I don't have couple. I couldn't go to the hospital. Is that not okay? And they refuse to pay us our money. The money has been looted in the treasury. They have looted the money, they have stolen the money. That is why they couldn't pay us our arrears and other money.
Meanwhile, the federal government has disbursed 5.12 billion naira in pension arrears to 90,689 retirees under the Defined Benefit Scheme (DBS). The Pension Transitional Arrangements Directorate (PTAD) announced this on Monday, stating that it had finalized the disbursement of the funds to the pensioners across the 4 pension departments. In a statement dated August 11, 2025 and signed by the head of the Corporate Communications Unit, Olubenga Ajayi, PTAD said that the move was in line with the government's commitment to clear outstanding pension liabilities. According to the breakdown in the statement, 8,626 pensioners in the Customs, Immigration and Prisons Pension Department (CIPPD) received 276 million 32,000 naira, while 9,681 pensioners under the Police Pension Department received 619,584,000 naira. PTAD also stated that while 12,773 retirees in the Civil Service Pension Department received 480,736,000 naira, 59,609 retirees in the Parastatals Pension Department received 3,814,917,076 naira. The agency stated that the payments reaffirmed the administration's ongoing commitment to ensuring that pensioners receive their due entitlements in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. The National Association of Polytechnic Students, NAPS, has condemned the ongoing call for strike action and the removal of the rector of the Federal Polytechnic, Okowe Lukman Adegoke Agbabiaka, representing over 28.1 million students nationwide. NAPS says Dr. Agbabiaka's leadership has transformed the institution from a state of near collapse into a model of progress and accountability. The report.
At a press briefing in Ibadan, NAPS National President Festus Ayomide Oyewumi recalled that before Dr. Agbabiaka's appointment, the Polytechnic faced severe decay with expired accreditation, leading to NYSC and ITF bans. While facilities at the institution were in a deplorable state, Oyewumi noted that under his leadership, the school has established modern ICT and CBT centers, functional laboratories and renovated hostels powered by solar energy. However, despite this achievement, some union leaders from NASU, ASUP and SANIP are reportedly leading what NAPS described as an illegal strike demanding the rector's removal. A move the students says is fueled by ethnic bias. NAPS is calling for the immediate reopening of the Polytechnic, the resumption of academic activities, and the withdrawal of what it terms the illegitimate call for the rector's removal.
In NASU, ASUP, and SANI, with questionable records including fraudulent employment, fake certificates, irregular promotion, and theft allegations, are now leading an illegal strike and demanding the rector's removal. Our demand: immediate reopening of the Polytechnic and resumption of academic activities, withdrawal of all of the illegitimate call for removal of the rector, full investigation by the Governing Council, MBT, and Federal Ministry of Education into employment fraud, promotion racketing, and project fund mismanagement.
The association warns that removing Dr. Agbabiaka would not only reward corruption, but also shatter the hopes of thousands of students.
Members of the National Executive Committee, NEC, of the African Democratic Congress, who are yet to resign their positions, have affirmed the Deputy National Chairman, Nafiu Bala, as the acting National Chairman of the party, pending a national convention. They made this known during a press briefing by one of their members, Audu Dauda. Dauda cited Article 14.3 in respect of the constitutional succession process of the ADC, which demands that in the event of the national chairman's resignation, a deputy national chairman shall immediately assume office as acting national chairman pending a national constitution. Dauda denounced recent efforts to install parallel leadership and threatened that failure to comply risks legal challenges and undermines coalition credibility.
We also want to reject the unconstitutional takeover or some attempts to take over the party through unconstitutional means. We therefore denounce recent efforts to install parallel leadership. Thus, the purported resignation letter of Honorable Nafiu Bala dated May 18, 2025 is confirmed to be fraudulent, illegal, lacking official ADC's letterheaded paper, and contradicted by Nwosu's July 2nd statement. We welcome leaders like His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Rav Eric Besola, and others, but we emphasize that formal resignation from previous parties must be a condition precedent and must be documented and authenticated.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Micro businesses find relief in solar energy amidst electricity challenges. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. In case you're just joining in, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Women march after suspected herdsmen kill 3 in new Yelwata attack. And EFCC nabs ex-Sokoto Governor Tambuwal over alleged 189 billion naira fraud. Now moving on to more stories, the Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested a herder found with an AK-47 magazine loaded with 6 live rounds of ammunition alongside 6 suspects linked to robbery and kidnapping in parts of the state. Police spokesperson SP Ramhan Nansel said the arrest followed credible intelligence leading Doma division officers to raid a criminal hideout in Yelwa, Edia, Doma local government area. The suspect allegedly confessed to abducting a local councillor in May and staging a roadblock in July where they stole a Bajaj motorcycle worth 970,000 naira. Police recovered 100,000 naira from the sale and another motorcycle during the operation. In a separate case, Kiana Division officers arrested 20-year-old Suleiman Mahamadou after he allegedly discharged a firearm during a dispute with farmers in Kiana local government area. An AK-47 magazine with 6 live rounds was seized from him. Commissioner of Police Shatima Jauru Muhammad has ordered all suspects transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department for further investigation and prosecution. Troops of the Nigerian army have killed a notorious terrorist commander, Amirul Fia, also known as Abu Nazir, along with his fighters during a repelled attack in Balgi local government area of Benue State. Weapons recovered included an AK-47 rifle, rocket-propelled grenades, and ammunition. In follow-up operations, troops working with the Civilians Joint Task Force recovered more arms and the body of another terrorist. In Zamfara, soldiers rescued 2 kidnapped victims after terrorists fled from an ambush site along the Gusau-Kauranamuda road. In Ebonyi, troops responding to a communal clash in Ikwo local government area killed an armed suspect and seized rifles, ammunition, and grenades. The Army says coordinated operations with other security agencies will continue nationwide. Five persons suspected to be masterminds of the 2022 bombing of St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, Ondo State, have pleaded not guilty to 9 counts of terrorism filed against them by the federal government. The suspects, Idris Omeza, Al-Qasim Idris, Jamiu Abdul Malik, Abdul Halim Idris, and Momo Abubakar, who were arraigned before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court on Monday, are accused of being members of Al-Shabaab terrorist group with a cell in Kogi State. Justice Nwite has fixed August 19, 2025 for the commencement of trial. The judge equally ordered the suspect to be remanded in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. The arraignment of the suspect comes 3 years after the then Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, said those behind the attack were arrested. The National Security Council had linked the attack to the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP. Over 40 worshippers were killed and scores injured when marauders invaded the church during a Sunday service and opened fire on Catholics during Mass.
Until after the outcome of the judgment, and by His grace, we believe He will be discharged and acquitted. And then we know what to do.
Why do you feel for so long before being arraigned? Yes, your full name.
Abdullahi Audu Muhammad Esquire.
Two tankers have collided and exploded in the Magaji area along the Zaria-Kaduna Expressway, injuring 4 people who are currently receiving treatment at ABU Teaching Hospital, Zaria. Confirming the incident, the Zaria Unit Commander Nasser Abdullahi Falguri said one of the tankers was laden with LNG gas while the other was empty. He said the accident occurred around 8:30 a.m. on Monday. The area commander, Federal Fire Service, Zaria Aminu Ahmadu Kiyawa, said after receiving a distress call from somebody, his men rushed to the scene of the incident. According to him, 3 people were injured as a result of the explosion from the gas-laden tanker, while 1 person was evacuated from the other tanker. Kiyawa, however, debunked the involvement of a Gulf or any other car in the incident. Illegal mining has continued to grow in Nigeria despite regulatory restrictions by government. Gwagwalada in Abuja is the latest hotspot in a viral video showing a cluster of people in a gold rush-like scramble has put the community in the spotlight. Hundreds of miners have poured into the area in recent weeks, digging without permits and stirring local fears.
these are minors.
In other news, no fewer than 12 cases of Mpox have been discovered by the Ondo State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, OSPHDA, in 8 local government areas of the state. The Director of Disease Control of OSPHDA, Victor Adefesoye, disclosed this on Monday in Akure at the stakeholders meeting on Mpox vaccination. Adefesoye explained that the disease, which was formerly known to be transmitted by monkeys, has been discovered to be transmitted by various animals. He described the disease as contagious, hence the need to contain its spread through vaccination in the state. According to him, the vaccination is safe and will commence on August 11th and on August 21st for a targeted set of people who are 18 years old and above. The director added that the target group will be given 2 doses of injectable vaccine at different intervals. Nigeria is experiencing a decline in Lassa fever cases, but the fatality rate remains high, according to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC. The center, in a report on Monday, said while the number of suspected and confirmed cases has decreased compared to the same period in 2024, the case fatality rate remained high. Specifically, the center said 145 deaths were reported, with a CFR of 18.6% compared to 17.6% in 2024. A decline in cases, the center said, is a positive trend, but a persistent high fatality rate is a cause for concern among health experts. The NCDC said cases fell from 11 in week 29 to 3 in week 30, recorded in Edo and Ondo states. The agency said cumulatively Nigeria has recorded 825 confirmed cases and 155 deaths across 21 states and 105 local government areas since the start of 2025. Residents of Maiha local government area of Adamawa state have lauded the governor of Fintiri free medical outreach which brought life-saving interventions to their doorstep. They stated these on the sidelines of a 3-day exercise organized in collaboration with the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, and fully funded by Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintiri, which provided free surgeries for over 150 patients and general medical services for more than 1,500 people. From Yola, Gibson Sawadigo completes the report.
Held in the Maiha Cottage Hospital and Paka Primary Health Care Center, the outreach attracted patients from all 10 wards of the local government area. Over 30 specialist doctors offered services, including consultations, laboratory tests, scans, surgeries, and free medications worth millions of naira and benefiting mostly low-income earners and vulnerable groups. Many residents describe it as the most impactful health initiative since the creation of the area. The NMA State Chairman Dr. Yunus Dairu, who led the medical team, called outreach a rare gesture in Nigeria and commended the government's commitment to improving healthcare in underserved communities.
In our report of last year, there was no governor that actually sponsored free medication and surgery for his people that cannot afford, the less privileged, the vulnerables in the whole country. Usually reports to the national president. None have done that. So all I can tell him is that we appreciate him.
The medical director of the government house clinic, Dr. William Steru, said Maiha was chosen due to its poor health indices. He assured residents that similar interventions will be extended to other local government areas.
Maiha is one of the hard-to-reach areas, and
as you can see, the major challenge that we had in the local government is the fragmented nature of the population. But we, apart from getting the drugs and the treatment, we gave them medical advices and talks that they have to be coming to the hospital for frequent medical checkup.
We sincerely thank the executive governor of Adamawa State for this kind gesture. In the history of my local government, for which come to existence for over 300 years, we have never witnessed such kind of medical outreach in my local government, the way you have seen things today.
Local leaders, including Secretary of the Maiha Council, praised the governor's consistent support across sectors, ranging from infrastructure to education and now healthcare, describing the outreach as historic. Gibson Soadugu, Trust TV News, Yola.
Nigeria's unreliable electricity supply and rising fuel costs are pushing micro businesses such as laundry shops, welders, tailors and salons to adopt solar power as a cheaper, more consistent alternative to generators. The situation is made worse by the increase in electricity tariffs that have made the cost of electricity to soar astronomically, even with limited supply for unmetered customers. In this report, Trust TV's Noel Sampson examines the growing acceptance of solar energy amongst small enterprises. His report.
Nigeria's installed solar capacity grew by 63.5 megawatt peak in 2024, bringing the total to 385.7 megawatt peak, according to the African Solar Industry Association. The removal of fuel subsidies has been a major driver of this growth, prompting many Nigerians to turn to solar energy as a cost-effective alternative to diesel and non-reliable grid power. With more than 90 million of Nigerians, estimated 230 million people living without electricity, the highest number in any country, one might expect most micro-business owners to have embraced solar energy. However, speaking to some of them reveals a different reality.
Solar energy has actually helped me drop down the cost of power, because with all these ban A and ban B things, especially with a business that you need power to run your refrigerator and day-to-day runnings and everything, so it has really reduced the cost of electricity for me. I don't have to bother because I have fridges and freezers I have to keep running over the night. They don't need to go off, so I needed lights often, so it actually reduced the cost of electricity for me.
The reason why I don't use it in my shop, because it's very, 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 very expensive for me.
I've even went to the market to check the price. The price is too high for me.
How much?
Very high. The one that I wanted to buy that time is for our house, 200 and something, 2 something. It's very costly for me.
Adding a voice, solar energy expert Blessing Wokocha explains that there are affordable solar options suitable for small businesses.
Because most of them, by the time we go approach them and they want to talk to them on why they need solar system, they all want to buy into the idea. They all want the solar system because of its noiseless and how sleek the system looks, you understand? But then they don't have the capacity to finance it all at once. So sometimes we've helped a lot of them by, you pay part payment, then split the payment. But most of the time it's not favorable because at the end of the day, by the time we want to get our money, it's always very difficult. The solar generators is far more the cheapest right now for them to buy into. Like the solar generator is noiseless and it's the cheapest solar system so far because it's an all-in-one system. Now this system, you don't need to put a separate inverter or separate battery. It's a combo all in one and it's cheaper for them. So if they go for the solar generators, it lasts longer and it helps them. At least it's even the money, it's not going to be as high as it's supposed to be.
However, concerns persist as reports of solar panels catching fire on rooftops and in shops have made some Nigerians hesitate about making the switch. Solar panel installers explain the causes of these incidents.
Using substandard materials, also using quack engineers, it's also going to affect the installation. So installing solar panel in shop, house, residence, farms is not a bad thing.
Most people they prefer a cheap quote
They prefer someone giving them something lesser, something they can afford, not minding something that is quality.
Unlike fossil fuels, which are expensive to extract and will eventually run out, sunlight is free and inexhaustible. Recognizing this, the federal government has begun constructing a 10 billion solar mini-grid to power the Aso Rock presidential villa, signaling a shift towards renewable energy and growing distrust in Nigeria's fragile national grid. Noel Samson, reporting for Trust TV News, Abuja.
Vice President Kashim Shettima on Monday led a federal government delegation on a condolence visit to the family of the late former Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbeh. Ogbeh, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party between 2001 and 2005, died last Saturday, aged 78. 2 days after, Shettima described Ogbeh as one of Nigeria's most visionary leaders whose contributions to food security will remain indelibly etched in the nation's development history. The senior special assistant to the president on media and communications, Stanley Nkocha, disclosed this in a statement on Monday. According to the statement, the passing of the elder statesman at 78 was irreparable loss to Nigeria's agricultural transformation drive and national development trajectory. The vice president paid tribute to the late politician, hailing him as a transformational leader whose impact transcended political affiliations and regional boundaries, adding that his work offered a blueprint for sustainable agricultural development in Nigeria. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. More news after the break. Many thanks for staying with us. In case you just joined in, this is News Hour on Trust TV. And now in business, oil marketers have expressed worries over what they described as the slow pace of repair activities at the old Port Harcourt refinery, which was shut down on May 24, 2025 for a 30-day scheduled repair. An update at the facility was revealed in a statement signed by the zonal chairman of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, System 2E Eastern Zone, Sonny Mpe, on Monday, following a visit to the facility by the Petron zonal chairman. Mpe alleged that the current Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Bashir Ojulari, had yet to visit the facility since assuming office 4 months ago. He told newsmen during a press briefing at the Port Harcourt International Airport while traveling to Abuja to notify other stakeholders and mobilize them on the next line of action as agreed at the Stakeholders Forum. The consultation, he said, will include all stakeholders negatively impacted by the dormant state of the refinery, including the Industrial Motor Branch IMB of Nupeng, Petroleum Tanker Drivers Ptd of Nupeng, the National President of Petron, the National President of Ipman, the National President of Nugasan, Sutakeb, and others. He called on President Bola Tinubu to direct immediate action to revive the Port Harcourt refinery, as such unnecessary delays seemed, quote, orchestrated and appeared to be coming from vested interests who intend to sabotage the vision of Mr. President. China on Monday said it hoped the United States would strive for positive trade outcomes a day before a trade truce reached between the two countries last month is due to expire. The economic superpowers are working to reach a deal to lower trade tensions after U.S. President Donald Trump imposed blistering tariffs on dozens of countries. The two penned a 90-day truce in May and last month in Stockholm agreed to hold further talks on extending the ceasefire past an August 12 deadline. The pact has temporarily set fresh U.S. duties on Chinese goods at 30%, while Beijing's levies on U.S. products stand at 10%. U.S. Trade Representatives Jameson Creer said following the Stockholm talks that Trump would have the final say on any extension of a tariff truce. Higher tariffs on dozens of trading partners, including a blistering 35% on Canada, came into force Thursday as Trump seeks to reshape global trade to benefit the U.S. economy. Away from Nigeria, Gazans gathered on Monday for the funeral of 5 Al Jazeera staff members and a 6th reporter killed in an Israeli strike. An explosion was reported at the U.S. Steel Clayton plant outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Monday, causing multiple injuries and trapping several people, officials say. Allegheny County Emergency Services spokesperson Casey Regner confirmed there were dozens of injuries but could not confirm fatalities or a cause. Another spokesperson confirmed a rescue operation was underway for people trapped. Governor Josh Shapiro posted on social media that the state's emergency management services and police had been deployed to the plant. KDKA News, a local broadcaster, reported at least one person was accounted for. It's now time for sport updates with Kabir Lawal.
The Tigers have unveiled their final lineup for the Men's Afro Basketball Championship set for Angola from August 12th to August 24th, 2025. Nigerians men are chasing a second continental crown, a decade after lifting their maiden title in year 2015. Drawn in Group B with Tunisia, Madagascar, and Cameroon, the Tigers tip off against Madagascar on August 13th. After intense preparation, Coach Mohamed Abdurrahman asked Fola Fayemi, Karim Joseph, and Mohamed Abdusalam from the training camp. The big man, Peter Olisemeka, also misses out after being declared ineligible. Star guard Jose Okogie headlines the roster, joined by returning stalwarts Talib Zanna, Ike Nwamu, Sam Okoye, and Caleb Agada. Rising talent Akorachi Ohuabu, Mike Oga, Divine Ike, Christian Walegu, Martis Mbanu, Ugo, Andrew Simon, and Emmanuel Omogba ends their calls up. This year's Afro Basketball marks the 31st edition since 1962. Angola topped all the charts with 11 titles. Tunisia is the reigning champion, having claimed glory in the last tournament. 16 nations will battle for coveted trophy. The Tigers aim to follow the path of the Tigress, who reign as African women's basketball champions. And on a sad note, tragedy has struck the Nigerian football scene as new appointed Shooting Star Sports Club assistant coach Akin Olowokere passed away on Monday at Dipo Dino Stadium in Ijebu-Ode. According to eyewitness accounts, Olowokere collapsed during the team's morning training session and was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. The former footballer and ex-chairman of Akoko South East Football Association in Ondo State had only been unveiled as one of the Shooting Stars assistant coaches on Saturday in a widely publicized video shared on club social media platforms. The club, in a statement, mourned the coach, extolling his qualities as a committed and compassionate person in his short stint with the club. That's Sport News. I am Kabir Lawal.
And that's a wrap on News Hour. Do well to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thanks for watching.